Welcome to Melanated and Spiritually Woke. I'm your host, Adorable Earth Angel, and it is so wonderful to be here with you today. We're talking about the energies of this week. If you're just now joining the show for the first time, we have a tendency here to focus on what are some of the most uplifting and empowering ways we can think about the week. This is like a weekly forecast of the energies. I use tarot, I use astrology, and I'm pulling up the planets right now. And it's important, I think, to think about the, I think it's holistic and it's a great blend to think about like how you can conceptualize your life as it relates to these bigger cycles, because I think it can be so easy to get caught up in the everyday nitty gritty. But what I love about spirituality is it opens us up to understanding things in a new way. And in that regard, can open up to a whole new way of moving forward if we felt chronically stuck in a chapter of our life. And so if that resonates with you, the idea of thinking about the world differently, what does it mean to be a person of color, reclaiming other ways of knowing, reclaiming non-Western ideology, reclaiming your intuition and the connection to the stars and the moons and the way our ancestors understood the world, but in a modern context. And so today we're talking about the modern context of what it means to move with the energies. The energies are really percolating, by the way. This reading is for this time in the year where we have eclipse season, and we're having two eclipses back to back. On the 26th of May, we have a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, and you can understand what that means personally by, if you know your birth chart information, you can find out where that's happening in your birth chart, and that will give you a more personal sense of how it will impact you. But we'll talk about, today we're going to be talking about the eclipse energy because it's happening and it's been happening. The thing about eclipse season is that you've been feeling it. A lot of astrologers call it this point where you're able to, it's this place and this point in life where you're able to have a really quick turnaround. It's what people refer to as like a quantum leap, where you're leaping into a new way of being, you're leaping into new opportunities. And with Sagittarius, it's about our higher understanding of ourselves and transitioning from one way of being or one way of knowing where maybe we've thought it has to be this way. It's very much, life can be, the opposite, the polar energy of that Sagittarius energy is Gemini, and we're in Gemini season. So there's a lot of Gemini energy around us. Gemini is the energy of our everyday mundane existence. And so sometimes that, and I have the cards here, so I'm gonna start interpreting, right? So sometimes that can feel in a way a little bit like, am I trapped? Am I trapped in this this particular economic bracket that I'm in? Am I trapped in this environment? What if I want to move? What if I want to relocate? What if I want to have like a new, some new depth perception? What if I want to break out of old kind of like, I've lived here and I know all the things, and there's this kind of juxtaposition to this Gemini energy that's very interesting and illuminating, and that the lunar eclipse is when the moon is in between the earth and the sun, and the earth, in a way, shadows of the earth go across the moon's surface. And so there's this interesting illumination. Imagine you having that illumination of this energy, this subtle energy. And it's emotional, by the way. The moon is our emotional energy. So it's not something that you maybe can point to outside of you, but maybe there's this energy, like you're able to see the nuanced depths of what are some things that I need to lay down? What are some things that I need to I need to release. The full moon is all about the illumination of the shadow, the illumination of what needs to be released and what needs to be, and also like what is come to be, what is manifest. But there's this kind of like interesting thing where there's things that are manifest, and then there's things that are illuminated, and you can see all of it. And it's all inward, you know, it's very subtle. And it's, again, remembering about the intuition. But some of us have this energy of, you know, the Eight of Swords starts this cycle. And you know, it's definitely a card that is about a continuation of a story. It's like picking up on a story. You know, my brother and I were talking the other day, and he like, I love my brother. He's a Gemini, by the way. But something that I noticed about him is that he'll pick up on a story and he'll loop around it and he'll gather evidence. And it could be in relation to a person. You know, like one of the lower frequencies of Gemini energy is gossip. And so there'll be a story that he has about a family member, and we'll get on the phone and it'll be like, oh, but this person and this, and there'll be this loop in this story and this cutting of a groove. But the interesting thing about and the cutting of a groove, Eight of Swords, it's almost as if like your one thing I'm hearing is like your words will cut, right? Your words can cut people, your words can hurt people, and your words can hurt yourself. And it's like, how do we get trapped in our own story? How do we get trapped in our words? You know, our words have power. What we speak becomes real and it becomes manifest. One of the tools I like to use is I like to use this tool called cancel, clear, delete. I don't do it as much, but I think the reason why I don't do it as much is because I found I've used this tool for years when I would say negatives, when I would have negative self-talk about myself or about other people. I would say, I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull this up, but I'm having a Mercury retrograde moment because I'm pulling up the chart and then something else is happening. Okay, sorry about that. What was I saying? So cancel, clear, delete. Cancel, clear, delete. Cancel, clear, delete is a very easy energetic tool that you can use. And what you're doing is out loud to say that you said something like about someone else, or you put some negative energy out there. It's like this very quick way to just clean that up. It's just the cleanup, right? And the cleanup is this: cancel, clear, delete. I cancel, I clear, and I delete what I was just thinking, what I was just saying. And after a while, it's like training a dog. You keep at it and you keep resetting the behavior, and then all of a sudden it's trained and your brain is trained. Oh, I don't gossip. I don't gossip. You know, I don't gossip because I was aware of like, oh, I'm aware I'm saying this negative thing. Cancel, clear, delete. We don't want that negative karma. That Eight of Swords is that negative karma that comes back, and you don't want those swords to come back your way. So just recognize opportunities to clear that energy. And maybe the lunar eclipse is casting a shadow on that Gemini polarity of gossiping, and the Gemini polarity of also not just gossip, but I'm also seeing it could be stagnation, like, or just being maybe just tired. Like, I'm tired of this post-COVID, like, we're all, I mean, well, it's not post-COVID, we're still in COVID, but like, I'm tired of this pandemic life where I just have to stay local. And it's like be mindful that there's actually a lot to explore. Even if you're stuck, there's so much depth about life. And that Sagittarius is the depth. The Two of Wands coming after that is that indication that there's something new on the horizon. There's a gift in allowing yourself to recognize that you are building upon you're building upon a new journey for yourself within a new community. So if you've been considering like I feel this need, oftentimes, the first card again. So another thing to note that I'm hearing is like sometimes when we don't let ourselves grow, we start to become toxic. we start to become toxic. And the toxicity is a symptom of us not allowing ourselves to heal, not allowing ourselves to expand, not allowing ourselves to grow. So then we start getting toxic and we start circulating energy amongst our coworkers, amongst our family members, amongst, you know, different groups of people, because we ourselves are needing to take flight. And so it's like that feeling. And then there's, you know, I see the Seven of Wands as the opposition. And when I think about this, I think of the Seven of Swords, another swords card, but it's reversed. There's that liberation. There's that removing. There's that it's like the spiritual energy that comes in and cleanses and purifies. And you know, all of this right now, this week doesn't have any major cards in it. So I don't have a major arcana card. And what I mean by that is all of these different energies that you may be feeling, I can see this happening very quickly. Like you'll go through like feeling this sense of like this sense of like, oh, like I need to get out, I need to bust out, I need to get free. And then there'll be this opportunity for freedom within like, you know, an hour, something's gonna pop up and then boom. And then there's like, oh, but you know, the Seven of Swords reversed is like, oh, like, can I really lean on that? Like, can I really trust that I can have that liberation? And the Seven is interesting because it's a spiritual assistance. It's this concept of like leaning into the spiritual voice, the spiritual assistance. This would be a great moment to like dive into some affirmations, by spiritual teachers, that spiritual quotes. Sometimes we can't do it by ourselves. And it could be like people that inspire us, people that lift us up, like those words to tell us, no, you can do it. You're not stuck. This is just a moment in time. One of my favorite spiritual teachers, Goenka, is a Buddhist teacher, and he brought down the word of the Buddha. And one of the things he talks about, very simply put, is that we're living moment to moment. And when you, and he really centered around not clinging and not craving. Not clinging and not craving. So you're not clinging on to something and you're not craving anything. And so when I get into a place where I feel like I'm not feeling good, I'm out of alignment, I ask myself, am I clinging on to something? Am I clinging? Am I craving? Am I trying to move around something? Can I just sit in the now? Because Goenka talks about everything is shifting moment to moment. And you're not clinging for your peace, and you're not craving, you're not avoiding. There we go. The other term was avoiding. So you either, in this dualistic kind of understanding, you know, we will be off balance if we're avoiding or if we're clinging. And both of those polarities bring us out of harmony. And so there's this instance of like thinking about what spiritual words will bring me into a place where I'm not craving or clinging on to anything. Nothing. I'm not clinging, I'm not craving. I'm okay with what is. And I know that no matter if I'm riding a high peak or if I'm in the low trough, that it's going to change, because that is life. Life is all about change. So, and these eclipse energies are about big changes, like the changes that we're seeing within these stars right now are change. I'm not talking about like a sentence. It's not a paragraph. It's a novel. Like these impacts are shifting your life, your prayers being answered. But there has to be this willingness to allow yourself to be. It's almost like to let yourself be in the eye of a storm, because a lot of things that are happening too. We have Jupiter. I can't pull it up. My phone's acting weird. We have Jupiter and Pisces. There's going to be a lot of unknownness. Like there's not going to be a clarity quite yet. There's still going to be this lingering, I'm not sure about some things. You know, there's the Six of Pentacles sitting in the middle of the week. And it's interesting, since the Six of Pentacles has this connection of there being negotiation. There's going to be negotiation. So, you're moving through this week, and like towards the middle of the week, there's some negotiation. It's you coming into that. I'm thinking about this equilibrium and this balance and this merging of yin and yang as it relates to your way of being in this world. And it's about you bringing and kind of grounding down and being clear, more clear-minded. Now, the Six of Pentacles can also be you negotiating in the work area, in relationships. Who's going to take care of this? Who's going to take care of that? It's definitely about trying to find a middle ground where everybody wins, and wanting there to be space for I'm just getting from this card, like there being space for there being middle ground that allows you to feel like you're able to have reciprocity. This week is an interesting week because we have towards the end of the week Mercury going retrograde, as I mentioned last week. And when I think of Six of Pentacles, I think it also can relate to you being in a space where I don't know, I want to say that you're allowing yourself to stay clear as to what you have the capacity to do right now. That's a part of that negotiation, because communication is going to get a little interesting for the next 4 weeks. And so this could be one of the last moments this week that you'll feel like you're able to negotiate, and things will be very clear. Next week and moving forward, negotiations might not be as clear. So I would say try to get those contracts done, get things wrapped up, zip, 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 zip. And then once we get into next week, it's just gonna be about, I guess, just control, just trying to clean up. We'll be talking about how to clean things up and make sure that everything is okay as you navigate the Mercury retrograde that will be in for a couple of weeks. And then the five, this is interesting. So the Five of Wands, this is great. This is a great time towards the end of the week. If you need any car repairs, if you need any repairs of gadgets, it's a great time to also, if you've been meaning to communicate with someone, you owe someone an email, you owe someone a phone call. This is towards the end of the week, like great time to just touch up on, like if you've had a list of things that have been piling up that need to be taken care of, Mercury retrogrades are great for knocking out projects and things that you had been wanting to do, because the energies are supportive of old projects. They're supportive of old things. Mercury retrogrades aren't really about activating something new. So it's not about like a brand new thing. It's about revisiting old matters. And what I can see you doing is you could be finding some bits of gold. What I mean by that is, like, maybe there was something that if you focus on it, you realize as you do that project, it could yield some financial returns, because it was something that was just waiting and lingering and just waiting for you to pick it up and make it happen. Definitely, you're getting full permission. Call those people, make things happen, pick up that project. This is a great week, the green light, all the old things that have been building up. And even if you don't think, because this is how sometimes as humans we think, oh, but me getting at this old project, how would that possibly lead to abundance? As I mentioned before, we are energetically connected to everything that we have going for ourselves. You wouldn't even be able to connect the dots as to how the universe source does this. You could be just sitting here sending an email or repairing something else, and for some reason energetically that triggers more abundance, because it was all about your energetic field needing to be cleared, right? And I've spoken about this when we talked about spring cleaning. Like, when you clean your space, when you clean your house, when you have no clutter, when things are clarified, it actually lets energy flow into your life more easier than if you have a bunch of stuff everywhere. It's just good feng shui. And so this is about getting your email, like go through your emails and close them and clear them out, clear out your inboxes so you can let more energy for more emails that are more in alignment with what you need. This is a good time to go back over your subscriptions. Do you really use that subscription account? Cancel it. There's more money right there. Easy. So just go through, comb through do some like electronic hygiene, clear out your computer. If you have your computer or your phone is running slow, great time to go through your phone, go through your computer, clear it out. There's great videos on how to like clear out like if you have data, caching data in your phone, there's a great video to go through and clear it out. If you have Android or Apple or whatever you have, it'll make your phone run faster. Go through and delete pictures on your phone that you don't need. It'll make your phone run faster. Go into your computer, delete all of the data that you're not using or all of the files you're not using. They'll make your, it's about cleaning things out, clean out your car. So go into your car, detail clean it. This is a great time to get all the clutter out your car, energetically clearing out your car, your vehicle. You'll be inspired to drive to new places. We don't make those connections, but this is kind of like what holistic living is about. It's all about energy and about maximizing your energetic power. And the more that you take the time and energy to work with the cycles of the stars, like by working with the Mercury retrograde and doing Mercury retrograde approved activities, you're maximizing your energy, you're maximizing your returns, your ROI. Your return in investment goes up about your life because you're being clear as to, oh, this is the time to do the cleaning and the clearing of my electronics and the repairs. This isn't the time for me to start a new project. I'll wait until after. Perfect. That's the best way to do that. And as it ends, the Nine of Pentacles, beautiful. Nine of Pentacles is one of the best cards you can get. It literally means that there's a financial or some sort of physical, it's kind of like, here's your wish. Here's like this physical thing. So it's like a physical positive thing that's coming into your life. It's tangible. It could be just like it's the energy of like, if this is like a yes or no reading, it's a yes, right? It's a yes to something moving forward. And I love that that's happening amidst there being a Mercury retrograde, because it lets me know that as the Mercury retrograde comes in, it almost in a way clears out all of the different, like when Mercury's moving forward, it's like, okay, we're going. Sometimes people don't have time to get back to you. But when Mercury goes retrograde, now you can get back to people, they can get back to you. And then there's like this great manifestation, there's opportunity. I love these cards for you this week. And let's just make a ball of light that encapsulates what this week's about to send this energy forward into your week so that it can manifest all the positivity. So rub your palms together with me. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Okay, you're going to take your palms apart. And we're just going to imagine we have a ball of light. In that ball of light, let's make this ball of light, just make it your favorite color, whatever color that is. Great. And so in this ball of light, we're just going to ask that spirit universe bless us with an amazing lunar full moon eclipse in Sagittarius week, that we have positive change that allows us to navigate any of those thoughts that keep us trapped in a loop and to clear them. We ask that we're able to expand our definition of what's possible around where we can go. We ask for there to be spiritual support in filling us with inspiring words and understanding of our life, and a new spiritual philosophy that uplifts us and takes us deeper into who we are and what we're here to do. We ask that there be this promise of being able to have negotiations that are clear, that are supportive, and that are fair. We invite in the opportunity to clear our electronics, to clear our cars, to clear all of our materials so that they're clean and that our energy's flowing and allowing us to be prepared for having even more abundance and even more support come our way. And we thank you for allowing a manifestation for us, or manifestations that are clear, visible, tangible, and giving us as much clarity as possible. We're going to take this ball of light, we're going to spin it in the direction of the greatest benefit for ourselves and all beings everywhere. And just take a breath here. And hyperspeed, amplifying that ball of light. Maintain permanently. And we're going to go ahead and release it up into the above our energetics. We're going to circle up into our aura, stretch it out. Good. And you're just going to take one hand on your heart and your belly, take a breath in. And so it is. Thank you so much for joining us today here at kcbzradio.com. We're so happy that you tuned in. Please stay and listen to the show following mine, Freedom Flow, with Randy. And please come back next week. We're going to talk about how this energy will support you in moving forward. This Mercury retrograde energy is so supportive. Sending you so much love and light. May you have health in the body, love in the heart, peace in the mind, and connection to divine. I'll see you.